Welcome to Please Me, the award-winning sexuality podcast bringing you bold conversations and big clit energy. I'm thrilled to announce that Please Me is the #1 ranked sexuality podcast in the USA and worldwide. I'm Eve, your host, on a journey from trauma to sexual liberation. Join me and my guests as we dive into conversations around orgasm equality, self-love, body positivity, and essential sex education. Let's reclaim pleasure and close the orgasm gap, one empowering conversation at a time. Last episode, I brought you Bria Rose, a spicy, dark romance novelist who reimagines classic fairy tales like Beauty and the Beast and Pinocchio, who in her version becomes a high-end sex doll. If you love bold books, twisted retellings, and powerful storytelling, this is a conversation you won't want to miss. Today continues my Kink series, and I'm thrilled to bring you the Commandant, a badass dominatrix with a powerful story and a wicked sense of humor. She brings a vital BIPOC perspective to the BDSM world, sharing the history of Black and Brown communities in kink, while highlighting her unique niche and lived experience. You're going to love her as much as I do. Huge thanks to everyone who's rated, reviewed, and shared Please Me. Because of you, we're now the #1 sexuality podcast in the world. Your support amplifies vital conversations about pleasure, healing, and sexual empowerment. Keep the momentum going, leave a review, share your favorite episode, and help us reach even more listeners. This week, I'm shouting out 5 amazing countries where Please Me hit #1. Italy, Romania, Saudi Arabia, Luxembourg, and Latvia. Thank you for tuning in and turning up the volume on pleasure. I'm also raising funds for survivors of the recent catastrophic typhoon in the Philippines, which struck just weeks after a devastating 6.9 magnitude earthquake hit the same region. Please check the show notes for the donation link. Any support you can give is truly appreciated. Want to ask me a question for the Please Me podcast? Join the conversation on Patreon or subscribe to my Substack newsletter for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes updates, and the chance to have your questions featured on the show. Patreon now houses the entire episodes of the Kink series, along with the exclusive guest photo shoots and a sexy New Orleans photo set I created while connecting with incredible kink-positive women. Step into the community for even more intimacy, education, and erotically empowered storytelling. Please Me is for mature audiences, so sit back, relax, and surrender to the pleasure of Please Me.
Well, you're in luck because I do both of those things because I am a filthy degenerate and I love corrupting other beautiful people like yourself into being healthy, filthy degenerates like me. So you are in the right hands. Have you ever done anything in those realms? Just your own experience, like own experimentation, maybe with like past partners or what have you? Have you ever had somebody mess with your feet?
Hello, and welcome to Please Me, the podcast that aims to destigmatize conversations about sex and sexual health by turning the sheets into our classroom. Today, I'm so excited to welcome the Commandant to the show. Did I say that right?
You sure did.
Okay, I love your name, because it just, in and of itself, is just such a powerful name. It's a military word, and I met this lovely lady, this badass, at a conference called DomCon in New Orleans a couple weeks ago, where professional dominatrixes come together to teach other dominatrixes and lay people like me who have an interest in the kink world. And after that conference, I decided that I was going to do a whole kink series because I met such amazing people. And this is one of them. And I was in her class called Dominance in Color. So we're going to be getting into the topics of that. But first, I want to welcome you to Please Me. How are you today?
I am awesome. I'm happy to be here. So thanks for having me. And also thank you for coming to class. That was a first timer. So it was going to be a hit or miss. And I'm glad it was a hit because it was a necessary one.
It was a huge hit. The room was full and it was an amazing conversation between you and the other person that was speaking with you. You guys were incredible. And you talked about the history of the BIPOC community in kink. So I would love for you to sort of like dive into that a little bit here.
So just to put it out there, the class was taught by me and my co-teacher, Mistress Mia Dark, and I love her. I worship the ground that she walks upon. I am so gay for my friends. Oh my God, I love her. I loved that. Like, we came together after I got guest of honor for DomCon LA this year, and we just we got sick of people not honoring our ancestors and the people who walked so we could run. So we decided to do the dang thing ourselves. I covered the history portion because I am just a history nerd in general. And there's a lot of shame that comes just in sex in general because of Western society, but especially in BDSM, especially in this subculture, because we were forced to become a subculture. There's a lot of shame in that. And what helped me get over my shame when I first started was realizing, in the most blunt way that I can say it, I'm not that special because I like to peg dudes and ladies and all in between. I'm not that special because I have cuffs and torture equipment, because we've been doing that since the 3rd century. And it took me researching down that rabbit hole for me to normalize it for myself, because at some point we're going to have to realize, for some people, this is just human nature. This is just in some of us. It's natural. Although it might feel unnatural at first, for some of us, this is like, second nature. For me, it's been second nature the whole time. And so going back into the history for BIPOC, especially, Western culture is kind of known for erasing BIPOC voices, especially Black and especially Indigenous. So I wanted to stress the fact that we've always been here. We've always been a leading face in the community that we started. And in fact, we have been here the whole time, not just some of the time. Because it starts back into the Yoruban tribes in Africa.
Okay.
And then after that, which century is that? I'm bad at math, so I am going to go over my own class notes.
That's okay.
Like I said in the class itself, the reason why we had the presentation is for us to keep track.
Right.
Because there's a lot of numbers.
Yes, absolutely. I'm like that too. I have to write down numbers as well. But yes, I would love to know where this all started in your exploration of the history of BDSM. And I'm so interested to hear about the Yoruban culture.
Yes. So it's goddess. And I'm going to look at the camera for this one. I'm kinky Google. I'm not pronunciation Google. If I fuck up this lady's name, I'm sorry. I do respect her. It needs to mean, and I said this in class before I said her name. Oshun is how I've heard it said. So that is how I'm going to continue to say it. Goddess Oshun is of she's of the Yoruba religion in Nigeria, just to be specific of the place.
Mm-hmm.
And she is known of being the goddess of love, sensuality, fertility, beauty, and rivers. But there have been rituals dedicated to her that often involve sensual dances, offerings with honey and perfume, and trance-like states where devotees surrender control over to her, which, if you're already savvy in BDSM, that's
Subspace, right?
Subspace. Yep.
Yeah.
And here's another little fun fact, just because I am a history rabbit hole. How we discovered altered states of consciousness is through ritualistic meditation practices that we found in India through their worship practices. And also, that is how we discovered hypnosis was through their meditation practices overseas. So it's been everywhere.
So
It's
two brown cultures that you're talking about, right?
Mhm.
And so there's a big history of the kink world coming from other places other than let's say Anglo-Saxon
Mhm.
origins, right? And so I love that you're bringing this up because we need to give credit where credit is due, right? So I wanted to talk about, since you mentioned altered states of consciousness and subspace, and so I would love for you to explain what subspace is and why people want to get into that quote unquote altered state of consciousness.
Oh man, I love when I get these questions. So my class the year before this year, last year in NOLA, which was also standing room only, is called Your Brain on BDSM. And I go over all this. So you're asking the perfect broad, just to make a long story short.
Amazing.
I have an article on it too. If you go to my website, you can read all about it. But just to explain it here, subspace and domspace, they are a shift in your headspace into either one direction or another. It can be caused by what is known, and you can Google this, what is known as ritualistic acts. So when I use those little buzzwords, you can take notes of those buzzwords. They will help you in all of your little Google searches if you're trying to get to a specific point. Subspace is on the bottom side of things, and how you can tell that subspace is kind of happening is you get a sense of euphoria. You are floaty, like the look in your eyes is almost as if like you're kind of drunk, and you can sometimes feel the like tingling in your fingertips. Your heart's fluttery, your cheeks are flushed. You're feeling a bunch of different hormones that are going on. So when your brain is on BDSM, you're going through a litany of different types of chemicals. And so on that list, you are going to have endorphins and beta endorphins, which cause that floaty, air-headed, cloud-like feeling. And then you're going to have adrenaline if you're doing anything super spicy, which in BDSM, bondage, like the first thing, bondage, you know. Uh, so, and discipline, like adrenaline's going to be there. You've got testosterone, you've got cortisol, you've got dopamine, and you've got serotonin. These are all going on at once. So these are all interacting in your brain, and that's what's causing it to shift. And so dopamine in itself, the reason why people call illicit drugs dope is because they cause dopamine. Dopamine is your body's natural opioid. It feels like you are under the influence of something. And so with domspace, it is the like ultimate sense of hyperfocus, laser vision. Like, when you get real locked in on a task and you're kicking that task's ass, domspace. For some people, they do get those dilated pupils. They do sometimes get flushed in the cheeks. I am a blushing dom sometimes if my sub has me giggling, and I love to giggle. I get tingling in my palms if I'm doing a lot of impact, like even through feeling my toys, the vibration, it'll make my hands tingly. But that's going up. And both headspaces, even though subspace is on the bottom side of things, you're still going up. And the reason why it's important to know about your headspaces, and both of you are going through those chemical changes just in different ways. It is the same chemical, different registration for each space of wherever you want to be on the hierarchy for yourself. What goes up also comes down. So with subspace, you also have subdrop. And what that is when your endorphins come crashing down, so do you. You come back to earth. And it's important to establish ongoing care with each other and understanding each other outside of the bedroom and outside of the spicy time. So that way you can take care of one another through your drop states, because those are also natural. Dom drop is also a thing. So yeah, it's when you go hyper focus into your headspace, basically. Long story short.
Yes. And, dopamine, the feel good chemical, makes you feel good, right? So this is maybe why somebody would be interested in becoming your client, for instance.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
also, yeah, but I want to talk about another segue into the neurological system in the brain, right? Where it can also have a calming effect. And in our conversation before, we talked about mummification, and we talked about the cadaver bag, and other sorts of deep pressure. And as a therapist, as a physical therapist, and being knowledgeable about the sensory integration system, deep pressure actually relaxes your nervous system and helps you to calm yourself down. So I can see why some of these deep pressure sorts of kink explorations could help you to calm your nervous system down. Do you want to speak on that a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of people, if you imagine like a Venn diagram of like Dungeons and Dragons, BDSM, and neurodivergency, as well as like Magic the Gathering, Warhammer, Star Trek, because I'm a huge Star Trek nerd, like all of the nerd things, and like BDSM and like autism and ADHD, it's almost a complete circle in itself. Like I can do what I can do. And the only reason that I am kinky Google is because I am painfully neurodivergent. And this way of life is the only one that clicks enough for me to function. So with therapy, and you and I did talk about this on our like pre-call that was only supposed to be 15 minutes, and it was not, which was awesome.
It was like an hour.
I know, it was awesome. I am thriving.
I was like, you are my best friend. I don't want to stop talking to you right now.
But with that, there's sensory deprivation that can happen in BDSM, like with the cadaver bag you mentioned. His name is Gary. I love him. He's the best. It's just sensory deprivation. Or if you see those latex back beds, that's sensory deprivation, as well as the tight pressure when you air seal it. It can, sorry, I'm talking with my hands so much, I'm making my webcam go, woo.
If you've ever wished sex could feel more connected, more intense, or honestly just more fun, you need to check out Shameless Care. They're a telemedicine company built entirely around sexual health, real doctors, real prescriptions, and products that actually work. Like Shameless Chemistry, their oxytocin plus tadalafil blend that deepens connection and boosts arousal. Or Shamelessly Aroused, a topical cream with the active ingredient found in men's ED medication, increasing blood flow exactly where it counts. Every order includes a short video introduction from your doctor, transparent pricing, and no subscriptions ever. Just real, sex-positive healthcare that delivers results. Because you're a Please Me listener, you can use coupon code PLEASEME for $15 off your order of any product on the Shameless Care website. Use the code PLEASEME, that's PLEASEME, at checkout to claim your $15 off. Again, that's shamelesscare.com, code PLEASEME. Because great sex shouldn't be complicated. It should be shameless. This episode is sponsored by Shameless Care.
It is a form of somatic therapy. I have seen people, and it's the only reason I've considered learning rope. I still won't do it because I'm too impatient, but I've considered it for this one reason. The pressure for some people of being in a full body harness or just a simple chest harness or hip harness, it can alleviate a lot of that. They need the deep pressure. It's a somatic experience, and there's a lot of somatic experiences in BDSM. Like You've got the cadaver bag, you've got latex back beds, you've got bondage just in general, like with handcuffs or regular leather cuffs or rope or duct tape or nylon, whatever. You can use damn near anything for bondage. Just be safe. Don't use duct tape on your bare skin. Anyway,
Point taken.
yeah, don't. It'll rip it off. Always do plastic wrap first and then duct tape. Let's see, you've got blindfolds, you've got over the ear headphones that, you know, you can control auditory and visual stimuli as well. You've got literal hypnosis that has been fetishized. I call it erotic hypnosis to make it a difference, which can also be somatic if you choose for it to be.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just a lot. Like how I function as a dominatrix, because I like to help people. Like that's my whole thing. Anybody who sees me as a client, I am going to get to the deeper meaning of why you are seeking me out in the first place. So that way what I'm doing to you actually fulfills you as a person. And sometimes that does read like kinky therapy. I view BDSM, if you have neurodivergency in you or you're traumatized, which it's not always the case. Not everybody who's into BDSM is a traumatized individual.
Right.
I have noticed that the more care and the more consideration that goes into the person, the more fulfillment there will be. So I don't like doing things needlessly, if that makes sense. So if somebody tells me I am on the spectrum or what have you, I do ask them if they've experienced mummification, if they've experienced sensory deprivation. How do they feel about, you know, being made immobile just for the sake of like somebody walking you through it and like telling you that you're safe and that you can just relax and let go. And 99% of the time it helps. So
Yes.
I'm kind of a kinky therapist, but not really, but kind of.
Yes. I think
Just
that,
a
there's
baby
so
bit.
many different ways and avenues to get to the result of what we're looking for, which is to feel calm in our bodies, which is to feel pleasure, which is to feel good, right? And it can take a lot of different avenues, and kink is one of those. And I love that you mentioned neurodiversity. I did have actually a couple of other people on the show that were on the spectrum or neurodiverse in some way, shape, or form. And one of them was actually autistic, and he was also a furry. And so I would love for you to talk a little bit about pet play, because we did talk a lot about it on that episode, but I think that is one of your like niches as well, right?
My dog is literally sleeping in my kennel in my living room. Yeah, just a little bit. I kind of like pets. I didn't teach a whole
Yes.
class about it at DomCon NOLA or anything.
Yeah, so let's hear about this. Can you talk about what exactly pet play is, and why would people want to experience this type of kink?
I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. For the full episode, over an hour long, join me on Patreon. Every Friday, we'll explore the world of kink, BDSM, and power exchange with amazing guests who are professionals in the community. On Patreon, you'll get the entire episodes of my kink series, including all the juicy insights and intimate conversations we can't fit in the free version. For just $10 a month, you'll also receive exclusive content, including photos and behind-the-scenes material from dominatrixes and other kink experts. Don't miss a single episode of this BDSM and kink exploration series. Join today and take your curiosity to the next level.
Are you looking for a sexy date? Look no further than SDC.com. SDC.com is the premier ethically non-monogamous website that is worldwide. It also hosts a wealth of information on sexuality and sexual health, and I host a free live webinar monthly on the site. You can use code 37340 for a free trial membership on me. And be sure to reach out on the site and say hello.